all these questions. In business, haven't I been taking classes? Haven't I been under the tutelage of some awesome business minds? Haven't I sacrificed and put out good money to learn what I learned? Haven't I practiced interviewing? Haven't I practiced podcasting? Haven't I laid down the foundation? What am I fearful of? Am I fearful of not measuring up? Why do I need others to validate what I've put into place, what I've worked hard to put into place? We ask ourselves all of those questions when we get by ourselves. And if we can't be honest, then we are willing to invest and get with someone who can evaluate and help us unravel this fear, this destructive fear. Many of us are seated in the corner because it's comfortable. Many of us are freelancers, but we've gone back to full-time jobs because it just seemed to be a comfortable and ready solution for us. Is it a good idea? What about what you've been working to put into place? Are you abandoning it, putting it on the back shelf and abandoning it? What can we say about this decision? The fear of running out of retirement funds, the fear of getting connected with the wrong strategist. Everybody wants to be a career coach, and I don't even know who to trust anymore. That old tax person jacked me up. It happens to all of us. But do we go off and we sulk? And do we hang up our pens? Do we hang up our headphones? Do we put our heads in the sand and just become numb to our next? Do we succumb to the destructive fear that's running throughout our bodies and our minds? Or do we take time to sit down and really evaluate, earnestly, honestly evaluate our next? So many of us, we walk past opportunities. We let collaborations go by. And how many times have we heard the riches are in the follow-up? We don't follow up because that calls for accountability. That calls for making a decision. That calls for showing up. That calls for forward movement. And we are so fearful of forward movement, being responsible, getting out of that comfort zone, causing ourselves to say, I don't know it all, but I have the awesome opportunity to be better. I have this opportunity to heed to the call to be a co-host to this podcast that I've always wanted to be a co-host to. This person chose me to be a co-host. If you get an opportunity like that, don't bury yourself in the sand, head in the sand. Somebody is giving you earned media coverage as far as a TV show, a TV interview, a podcast interview. Don't say that you're not enough. You are enough if you've invested in yourself, if you feel it in the marrow of your bones, in the very center of your core. Do not let destructive fear back you up. Do not let it delay, because I'm going to tell you one thing. I have found that when it is time for something to happen, when it is time to connect with an opportunity, with a person, when you are ready and the times are aligned, you say no to that opportunity. God, the universe, already has something ready to say, yes, they are prepared and they are not going to deliberate. They're going to do it scared. They're going to do it as we are perfecting this along the way. They're not going to sit off in the corner and say 6 months, 2 weeks is sometimes too long to deliberate upon an opportunity. It's the top of the year. We closed out 2022 with so many ideas, with experiences, with fears, yes. But with those fears were accompanied prayers and hopes and wishes. And we didn't stop moving forward in our minds, our whole, and our energy and our studies and our relationships with God and the universe. Everybody knows what our next is, where we're going, what we're up to, the challenges that we're going to take on. And then the opportunity comes just out the gate and we say no. We're all sulking over on our desk chairs thinking, oh no, it's not time. Remember in the first Top Gun, and I watched that one not too long ago. Remember when Tom Cruise and Goose were flying and they got in a backwash, I think that's the term, and he spun out of control. He couldn't maintain control of the fighter plane, and they just were dropping. And Goose was told to eject, and he was pulling on the lever, and he couldn't. The hatch would not let him eject. Finally, his body hits the dome there, and him and Tom Cruise are in the water, and Goose is dead. Well, nobody's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault, but there were other opportunities that came to Tom Cruise after that fateful, devastating event came into his life. Didn't see it coming. It really broke him down. So this guy, you saw him early on, all this confidence, all this training, all this preparation, all this spirit of competition. And one incident drove him to say, I'm out. And had someone not taken time to say, he's quitting the program, the whole thing would have been a wash. So what I'm saying with all of that is we've come out, excuse me, we've come out of some circumstances, and they've been hard circumstances. We've come out of some things that really shook us to the core, as in our personal lives, in our professional lives, as entrepreneurs even, and it shook our confidence to the core. But trust and know, somebody's watching you. Somebody's hoping that you don't throw in the towel. Somebody's hoping that you'll say yes to that next opportunity. Somebody's hoping that you'll stay in preparation mode. Somebody's hoping that you'll reach into your grit, and you will do whatever you need to do so that you can show up and show out, so that you can shine. It's early in the quarter. It's early in 2023. Do not let destructive fear back you up. Change your mind. Mindset seems to be a buzzword, but let it be your North Star on how you approach life. Let it be something that you lean on, something that is your accountability partner. Am I looking at this and thinking about this with the mindset that I want? Am I looking at it from an old set of eyes, an old way of doing things? Or am I progressive? Am I hanging with the right folks who are going to lift me up? We're taking into consideration all of these things. What am I? How am I looking at this? Can I think about this in a brand new way? And when we put the rubber to the road like that, most of the time, we come to the conclusion, hey, I ain't looking at this right. I'm not judging this with a correct set of sunglasses or eyeglasses. Hey, I need some new contacts concerning this right here. So, destructive fear, how we handling that? Let me go back to the first analogy, the first story that I had, and that's relationships. And I'm telling you right now, I decided I'm going into this relationship. not rushing it, not going in with old ideas, old hurt,